All right. Nope. My channel. It's building up. Oh, shit.
Nice.
Oops. Oh, jeez.
Almost 1,000.
Yeah, almost at 1,000. For some reason, though, we're not live on here. That's not good. That's not good. So... Cool. We turn off Twitch because no one on Twitch is interested in anything good other than watching cute girls infantilizing a sexual image
with daddy issues,
reminding them of minors.
Yeah.
Unable to connect. That's not good. That's not good.
You know, Bella Thorne made $2 million on OnlyFans in a week.
I believe it. I believe it. Why are we not connecting to D-Live? There we go.
Right,
there we go. It was stubborn.
God doesn't want us doing this without Pierce.
Wow. Man. No, I mean, that was meant to happen, and God allowed the connection. How about
Fantastic.
that?
Thank you, Lord. Appreciate your cooperation.
Appreciate the cooperation. Let's get a music bed going. I picked this. Some awful jazz. Got a little bit to talk about today. Let's see. Popping it out. Did that already? Oh, it did already cut the audio because I forgot to unmix. There we go. Got a nice jazz mix. Comments popped out. Come on in.
Morning, Angus.
What up, Angus? What up, baby? What up, Gucci Gator?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
We have cute code names.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to be known as the Ferrari Flamingo.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can't name myself in Telegram
That's
as
right.
the owner.
Titty sprinkles.
Yeah. It's the only downside. Only downside. Caesar's here.
Good morning.
I forgot what nickname I gave him. I don't know. It was like Lexus Lizard or something.
It was something pretty dope.
Oh, got a little bit to talk about today. What do you guys think of the music bed? Is it too loud? Is jazz too awful? I like a little... You don't like jazz?
No jazz.
Not a jazz guy? No jazz?
No
None
jazz.
at all?
No, not smooth, not
Progressive?
Jagged, no jagged jazz. I don't know. You know, my wife made me listen to Yes, which is like progressive rock on the way to Ohio, and it ruined the entire trip. It gave me a headache. And you know what I say to Yes?
No.
No. That's
Yes. Are they the ones that did Roundabout?
yes.
Wow.
I think the issue was she put on the most kind of dissonant and experimental album that they had, and it just I was trying to take a nap, and it just gave me this pounding headache, and it ruined me. It ruined Yes for me forever.
Have you ever been physically ill from a song? Like, has a song ever just made you, like, physically, like,
Every
temperature
time-
rises, you puke or something?
Yes.
Or
Every time I've listened to Pearl Jam,
really?
yeah, I get kind of a visceral.
Jeremy spoke.
Yeah. Yeah. So if it's on the radio, I will, no matter whose car it is or where I am, I will change it.
Damn.
Yeah.
In 7th grade, I had Motley Crue's cover of Helter Skelter stuck in my head, and I couldn't get it the fuck out of my head, and I think there's a real connection there. I started vomiting. I'm sweating bullets and shit, and and stuff. And finally, my brother picked me up from school, sent home early, blasted the AC, and like some Bob Marley got thrown on. I was like, I feel better.
Okay. I probably feel the same way about Bob Marley because you've heard it all. You've heard it so many times. You're just like, eh.
Right. Right. How many times can you listen to Could This Be Love or whatever? Or,
Once.
Yeah, or
It's
Buffalo Soldier.
Once.
Yeah. My favorite response from anyone who says they like reggae too. It's like, oh, I love Bob Marley.
Right.
Oh,
That's the extent of my reggae
you got a really
knowledge.
expansive library. You must be a real reggaeton fan.
You know that Buffalo Springfield song that was at the end of the first day of the DNC with that drag queen guy that was in a cape?
I didn't see it.
Something happening here. What it is, we got to be where I don't know what it is. But
Okay,
that
I
song
know
has
the
been
song.
that song has been stuck in my head since I watched that live on the DNC.
Really?
Yeah, I can't get rid of it. The wife too. It's an earworm.
I'm not gonna watch the DNC.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah.
But
Why were you?
I like to know my enemy, which brings me into today's topic.
Know your enemy.
Hatred is a
Oh,
weakness.
that's what I meant. Yeah. Hatred is a weakness.
That's right.
Profanity is a weakness of the mind.
Absolutely.
You can always. It's like if you can't form better words, better adjectives and stuff, your mind kind of just goes to profanity. And the same thing with weakness. If you can't think better, if you can't have better things on the mind,
Right. But that begs the question. Profanity in certain situations to really punctuate an idea or to really punctuate an argument. Or hatred. I don't know if I could say the same thing about hatred. I'll just tell you what happened. I saw something, I'm not going to talk about what it was, but I saw something that disgusted me to my core.
Yeah.
And it made me have, I've been kind of lost in hate and in really divisive politics and stuff lately. And I saw this thing, and I changed. I separated myself from some people, and started thinking, and then
Something they found funny.
something that they thought was good. I don't know how else. I don't know. I can't get my head around that. But
Yeah.
so I left this group of people, and I started thinking. I was out back having a cigar. I started thinking about where I am in my political leanings, and where I am with my own weaknesses. And hatred is a big one.
Right.
So I've made some changes, and I've started going back to the gym. I'm getting off of some stuff that I've been on. Nothing illegal, but stuff that's been an issue for me. And I'm trying
Just heroin.
Yeah, well, basically. And I'm trying to better myself. And for me, that's going to mean getting back in the gym to feel better about myself and to be healthier, and also to stop being so judgmental about what I perceived as the other side. Christ tells us to love our enemies as ourselves, and I think that's a very important lesson. I feel sorry for the people that I view as my enemies. I think that they're lost in nihilism, and
They're misguided.
absolutely.
And they've been led, when it comes down to that 80-20 split again. You know what I mean? And a lot of, most of the enemy, besides the one that's pulling the strings and misleading people, they're sheep. And they've been misled. The flock has been misled. You know what I mean? And can you really hate them for being misguided, misled, ignorant, essentially?
So can you aim
I say
hatred?
yes. No,
Can
I'm
you-
just kidding.
Can you aim hatred at the people who are indoctrinating, who are pulling the strings, who are pushing forward this kind of nihilistic anger devoid of any kind of meaning or purpose? Can you hate them, or can you just be angry at them? And you want to stop them?
I try not to hate anyone. I don't wish ill intent on anyone, really. Especially that I can think of right now. I mean, maybe if we dove deep.
Right.
But, like I said, I don't wish ill intent for anyone, but I do know, in the end, where they're going.
That jazz is really distracting me. No, it's all right. That's something else I need to
Music
get
is
over.
really
I
loud.
need to love jazz.
How about that? Is that better? Sorry.
That's good.
It's supposed to be a music bed. Well, I gotta ask them because
They can hear it better.
let me boost our audio too, so we're clearly over. Sorry, guys. This show is always a work in progress, and
Bill Marriott says something very inspiring, which is success is never final.
yeah, that's true.
And that's
Very true.
That's true of all sorts of stuff. See, we used them. We didn't know if we were going to. But,
oh yeah. No, there's a lot of
there's some
inappropriate
gold
ones
in there.
on here, but there's ones that could be used.
There's
anywhere.
some nuggets in there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some diamonds in the rough.
Absolutely. So what I've found recently is a group of guys who are more driven towards positivity and more driven towards bettering themselves and being the best version of themselves possible.
Right.
And I found this group of guys at just the right time. I already knew them, but I've become a lot closer with them lately. And my whole outlook on life has changed. I have my wife, and I have my baby on the way, and I have a home, and I have unemployment at the moment. I'm looking for a job. I have good friends, and I have the ability to better myself. So that means I have everything I need, right? I may not have everything I want, but I have everything I need. And that's something that I'm going to try to remind myself of every day.
Gotta tighten the mic. There we go. Sorry.
Okay,
I know it's distracting.
No problem.
Yeah, I mean, misery loves company.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And miserable people hate seeing other people do good. They hate seeing other people be happy. They would much rather I'm trying to find the other word for the S word. They would much rather figuratively defecate on anybody else's positivity or success or anything like that, no matter how big or small. They're not fans of it, and they want to dictate how everyone else does.
Right.
And
if you step out of line, your drive to make yourself better is actually you being weak, being a beta male, being all these things that in this particular group of folks and folks like them all over the world, who, by the way, I love, and I think they all have a lot of positive aspects to them. And I'm not disparaging anybody. I'm just saying it's not for me at the moment. And
and it's I made a huge change like 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, and I cut out all the negative people out of my life. Even if they weren't intentionally negative, you know what I mean? They probably don't even see that they're being such a downing experience on me and changing my mind to be like theirs. Right. It's sad. You can't see the forest from the trees. But, regardless of these people that I've tried to help and tried to make more positive and tried to, think at least successfully, you can't help them, You got to let them figure that shit out. You got to let them figure that out. And you got to focus on yourself sometimes. It's weird because the term selfish, selfish has an often negative connotation to it. And really, if you get to the root of it, it's just thinking of yourself. Like, you have to have a good balance of selfless and selfish. And
affix your own mask before trying to help others with their mask. So that's something that every stewardess knows.
Yeah.
Flight attendant, sorry. We got to be...
Got to be a little
PC.
more appropriate. Or else Netflix is going to kick us off of here.
So if you don't... Right. If you don't have a solid basis within yourself, a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, the right people around you... I gave you the house analogy last show about... actually, I don't know if I did this. So the idea of progress, you have to have a scaffolding. So if you're remodeling a home, for example, it's perfectly fine to put new drapes in, to to put in new fixtures, to paint, to do all that kind of stuff. But when you start knocking out the support beams, when you start knocking out the walls that are holding everything up, you tear everything down with it. So you have to make sure that the support beams in your house within yourself are strong enough to support the house, and therefore to support the people in the house, and that would be your friends and your family and things of that nature.
Right.
And without that, you are going to be a burden on the people around you. You're going to be a negative influence. And, we have this, as humans, we have this innate desire to help people that are suffering, people that are below us, but you can only do so much. And
right.
In the case of some of the people I'm talking about, I try to be positive. I try to talk to people, and you can only do so much before you go, well, it's hurting me. Actually hurting me. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm trying to be friends with people, and I'm being called out for it.
Right. I mean, I got a lot of friends too, from my previous lines of work, and one of them in particular. You watch the show with Blake, Bullet in the Head Blake.
Oh yeah.
His woman is selfless to a fault. that it'll hurt her, and it
Right.
constantly has. And finally now she's one of the people I didn't cut out because she is genuinely a good person. I've told her constantly, think of yourself, think of your family, right? Stop putting yourself out there. Even if it helps you a little and it's mostly to help them, don't. Help yourself, build yourself up, or else you can't really help anybody else.
That's right.
Yeah. Constantly just helping the wrong people, the people who claim they need help, they want help, and
But being in that position where you're constantly in need of or asking for help can also become an addiction.
yeah.
Where and it can become, that's where codependency comes in. It can become an addiction for the person that's giving the help all the time, because they feel that their strong nurturing senses kick in and they feel that they're doing some good. But what they're actually doing is enabling the person to continue upon their pathway of self-neglect and self-harm, which can obviously be a bad thing.
Angus says, progress, not perfection, is the key, my friend. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Sound levels are better. Good. You have to be stable to be there for others. Absolutely. You can't keep ruining your house to try to help others.
That's a profound statement from Warpig 1488.
From Hitler 769.
Right.
No, I'm just playing. Howie says, it's a POS party.
I don't know if that's positivity party or a POS party.
Or paused like AIDS.
Oh, okay.
You know, like we're all paused up.
Like get paused.
And I'd like to think he's talking about...
I think so too.
Okay,
I
and not us. Not he jumped in
no.
and he's like, it's a piece of shit party in here.
Caesar says, be the example. I've been working out the last week, tired of being a fat slob for my wife and kids. Fitness is also self-improvement. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sisyphus, right, in Greek mythology, is cursed to roll a stone up a hill for all eternity. But in order to get anything out of that that's positive, you have to imagine that Sisyphus is happy. You know what I mean? You have to imagine that he's getting something out of it, that what started out as a punishment from the gods ended up becoming something that's constant self-improvement.
Yeah.
So Sisyphus is ripped. I'm sure his mind is very clear. You know what I mean? So pick up the heaviest thing around you, and this is a Jordan Peterson idea. Pick up something heavy and walk with it, and then do it again, and then pick up heavier stuff. Lift weights. You know, for me, quit. You know, don't watch porn. And all these kind of things that are negative. Don't be addicted to stuff. Drink when there's a reason. Don't just drink to drink.
Right. Drink for celebration. For those of you, whether you believe it or not, I personally am going sober after, well, I am until
Murder the Media Fest.
Murder the Media Fest. Yeah, but afterwards, I'm pretty much done with it, other than celebrations and whatnot.
Right.
And even then, I need to learn, not be a glutton, not overindulge,
And it's we were talking about this before the show, the idea that it's okay to be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Because you'll get past that discomfort, but I don't have anything to do because I'm not working or whatever. So I like drinking. I should be drinking right now because I can just drink. I like drinking. I can just do all the drinking. And what you're doing is you're hamstringing yourself to make progress. And since I've stopped drinking during the week and stuff, I'm looking for a lot more jobs. I've had some interviews. I'm back in the gym. And again, I'm not the bastion of self-improvement. You know what I mean? I'm on a path that
Who is though?
I don't know. Perfection is never, or success is never final. So
Right.
I don't know that anybody can be.
Titty sprinkles.
Improving self is not selfish. Like Warpig said, you need to do it for those around you. Right, but in a way, like I said, selfish has a real negative connotation to it, but you cannot be selfless unless you build yourself up first. Selfish, the root of it, not the negative form of it.
Well, there's an
you
entire
know?
school of thought based around selfishness as a virtue, and that's objectivism, the Ayn Rand school of thought, that that there are people who...
The Willy Wonka guy?
What?
Ayn Rand?
Ayn Rand, the Willy Wonka guy?
Thank you for the chef.
Wasn't he the writer of,
Great show.
Contribution.
Charlie
no.
and the Chocolate Factory?
No.
Who's Ayn
No,
Rand?
it's Ayn Rand, but her name is spelled Ayn Rand. She's basically the founder of objectivist thinking. She wrote The Fountainhead,
Then
Atlas
who-
Shrugged.
Who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Some guy, some weird guy. Roald Dahl.
That's
Roald
who-
Dahl.
Oh, I get them mixed up all the time.
You get Ayn
Like, this
Rand
great
and
philosopher
Roald
also
Dahl
brought us
mixed up.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. which had a real good message to it in the end
Most
as well.
certainly did. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
I am so dumb. I think I've got drunk at least a dozen times at bars. I'm like, Ayn Rand and, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And,
holy crap. Did you show up with a bag of burgers and then talk about Ayn Rand being the writer of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I do a lot of the time.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I am 4 days in on my intermittent fasting.
Good job.
I started at 234, 226 today.
Fantastic.
In 4 days.
The other thing is because there's so many of us doing this, we have the opportunity to hold each other accountable, which is exciting, you know what I mean? Because like I was talking about last time, my wife's disappointment in me is worse than anything else I can possibly imagine. I'm sure that's going to be true of my friends or my kid as well, but it's to a lesser degree true of my friends and the people that are kind of on this journey with me. The fact that we're all, we're all in this positive space, that we're all trying to help each other out. I know I just use space the same way that the other guys use space. You know what I mean? Like safe space and all that stuff. So never mind. I need to get out of my own head.
No, that's good.
But we're in a place where we are holding each other accountable. And then just like I was talking about last time, where once I got off of dope, I started, like getting a driver's license, getting an ID, getting my bank account started, getting a car. That's a snowball. It's an avalanche of positivity. So as things keep moving forward and you have all this positive energy, especially around you and within yourself, you kind of start to feel unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
And walking out of the gym after an hour and a half in there really pushing yourself, you walk out of there feeling like you could just take on the world. Whereas before, I was always drinking and I felt good, like superficially.
Kinda temporarily.
You know what I mean? But when I really, like when I was trying to go to sleep at night or when I'm in my own thoughts, I feel horrible about myself. And you shouldn't feel horrible about yourself. You should realize and acknowledge your own weaknesses and then find a way to fix them. You know what I mean?
Improve.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, we read that one. The sad thing is that people often get to the point where they can help others and forget the help they had along the way. Right. It's a balance of selfish and selfless, hardening them to offering the help. Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of people who think they require the help when really they need to help themselves. They rely on people who have built up that success to be, give me a bailout here and there. And that's not the way you need help either. It's a weird balance. That's awesome, Dick. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Warpig. That means a lot, man. Thank you, Angus. Let's see. Slowing down drinking has been hell for me lately, but you'll get through it. You'll do better. Positivity is contagious. It truly is.
Just like negativity.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Sees a sense. Wow. If I could talk. Now that I've been sober, the mind's moving so fast right now that I got to keep up with
That'll happen.
Not that I'm big-brained or anything, but, Caesar sends a diamond and says, great show.
Thank you, brother.
Kempen? What's happening? What happened in Kempen? Let's see. Same guy that wrote James and the Giant Peach. Okay, so it was not...
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
Well, we're never going to get
guy
this
with
correct.
dumb name wrote great books.
Right.
All right.
And that idea of both negativity and positivity being contagious, right? Negativity and positivity aren't tangible. And that also gets into something that I sent you last week that I wanted to talk about as well, which is the idea that for most of human history, it was the intangible stuff, the stuff you couldn't see or prove or touch, that were the things that were the most important in society. And that's, it's the things we were just talking about, but it's also God. It's also all the things that you need to orient yourself towards. They're not really tangible, and we get so bogged down, especially today, because everything's so convenient. It's so easy. Technology is so abundant, and phone addiction is another thing that's this huge thing. And I've noticed you don't really seem to have that.
Phone addiction?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't reply to people. I don't. I'm an in-person guy.
Right. Absolutely.
I used to have real bad phone addiction when I was on Facebook. I'm actually thankful they kicked me off of their platform.
I am too.
Thank you, Zuckerberg. I didn't want to be on there, really. And, I found after I got kicked off, it's weird. I felt alienated from the world, even though I was more connected to it.
Sure.
And I'm at my ex's birthday party, and I'm looking at my phone every 2 minutes. There's nothing there. I deleted the app because I don't have access. I'm looking at nothing. I'm looking at nothing every 2 minutes to just try to be disconnected a little bit from the world, but at the same time a weird connection to my phone. And ever since, half the text messages I have, I still haven't read from days ago, which is bad, but I mean, it's...
No, you don't have an obligation to respond to people. And again, like you said, you're an in-person guy. And like last time when we did the show, I left here with a high. You know what I mean? I left here with a high that I only get from having conversations of this nature with people that I care about.
Right.
And I never got that high from any drugs I've ever done or any alcohol. I get it when I'm with my wife. I get it when I'm with the people that I care about, because it's intangible, man.
Yeah.
You know, and
It is.
it's connections between people, and that's such a huge chunk of who we are as human beings, is the experiences that we have and the connections you make with other people. And I don't know that people that are like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, that's a false connection. You have followers, but you don't have friends. And even on Facebook, they say friends, but you don't know 90% of the people that you're friends with.
Right.
You know, they wouldn't help you if you needed to move, you know.
Like in the large scale of that group we joined, you know, it's like 90% of them. It's like, I don't know you.
Right.
I'm scrolling through, I'm looking at pictures. Cool. That's an update.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck, I don't screw that. I don't want to look at this.
it's
That
not
kind
a
of
real
stuff.
connection.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's shallow.
It's so there's dopamine, which you're going to get from anything that makes you temporarily happy. But there's good sources of it and bad sources of it. And I think addiction is obviously a bad source of it. But it's more, it's pig. It's the problem with instant gratification. It hits you immediately. Same thing with drugs and all this other stuff, pornography. Boom, it just hits you and you get this huge release. But the idea, another thing we were talking about last time is that knowledge is a process. And so is friendship, and so is a marriage, and so is parenthood. And those things aren't instant. They're not instant gratification. And the level of pleasure you get in them in a short period of time spikes way up high. But over a long period of time, if you tracked them both, you know, one would be this huge spike and then a drop and then another huge spike. Whereas the happiness you get from the connections you make and the self-improvement you do, that's a constant 45-degree angle, man.
Yeah.
There's going to be little dips here and there, but it's always going to... It's like looking at the stock market for the last 100 years. There's some dips.
The quick dopamine release is like a very volatile stock that just constantly goes up and down. But, you know, the real happiness is more of, like you said, it's steady.
You have to work for
bumps,
it.
You got little rises, but, you know, for the most part, it should be going like that, like this, a little jagged, not like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think people get that confused with the idea of being content.
Micro dopamine bursts.
Right. The idea of being content seems reasonable. If you think about it for 5 seconds, you go, oh yeah, I want to be content. But you should never be content, in my opinion, because the second you're content is when you're complacent. That's when you stop improving. And again, I'm not calling myself a self-help guru. I have tons and tons of flaws, but I feel better when I confront them. And having people to hold me accountable and being more afraid of the disappointment of the people I love than I am of, say, consequences, for example. Man, that's all that scaffolding. That's all the stuff that's holding up the house, the temple, whatever you want to call it, that is me, that is you. And I don't know, man. I've just been on this super happy burst lately, and I just feel amazing, and I want everybody else to feel that too.
I just want you to know, I'm not trying to blow the vapor into your face.
I don't even, dude. I was a vape douche for years.
Oh, okay.
I hung out in vape shops.
Oh, so I'm a vape douche. All right, appreciate it.
But
so
low level, like first tier vape douche.
Oh.
You don't have a big box mod. You're not
Not
building
like tier
coils.
4, yeah. I'm not dripping every like 2 seconds.
No, no.
Let's see. It was ruled dull. You're right. Yeah. Warpig says, with the size of that melon, I would say big brain. It is a pretty big cranium.
Well, you don't realize that there's actually
Runs
an
my
effect
family.
on the. He's got an effect running through all this stuff that makes his head bigger than it is.
Yeah.
If you're sitting next to him, it's a pinhead.
Right.
He's got this tiny little head.
Same with my hands too. They're like little dogs.
encephalitic, I think it is. Encephaly, microcephaly. What's it called? You have it.
Hepatitis D. I don't know. Dude, I'm not a doctor. I just got a giant melon on my shoulders.
Right.
Let's see. If you haven't, you should read The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi. I'm gonna check that out.
What's up with guys with weird names? seem like prophetic.
I know. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Like Jordan Peterson. Such a weird
What
name.
a weird... It's foreign. It's like Canadian. You hear it and you go, beady eyes and flappy heads. You know? But turns out he's a pretty intelligent guy.
It's the best book on manhood I've read. I'm going to check that out. I got a lot of books I got to read. Pierce keeps telling me to read... About to sneeze. Pierce keeps telling me to read Harassment Architecture. Yeah, I think that was I forget who wrote that. I don't know, but he tells me to read that one. I'm gonna have to check out Rollo Tomasi, and one that really helped me out, which it's kind of basic and everything, but 12 Rules for Life.
Absolutely.
From JPB or JBP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a good one. It really helped me out a couple years ago to get out of the original rut.
That's when I got it.
And I haven't fallen that deep since. You know what I mean? In my own personal retardation. I haven't fallen below a certain... I've risen from here, and then I got to about here, but I did not reach that low again. So I think I need to check that one out
Well,
again
I think
as well.
Stoicism and Christianity, again, we talk about the two pillars of Western civilization being, Christianity and Greek reason. So the idea of Stoicism, they seem to, and Christianity, they seem to go hand in hand, because Stoicism helps you build a healthy internal platform, and Christianity helps you see beyond that platform into the spiritual and the numinous and what's beyond. And those two things just overlap with each other perfectly, man. And I bought Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I bought another book that I think is called 366 Meditations on Daily Life by Ryan Holiday. And then there's Seneca, and there's a whole bunch of other really great Stoic philosophers, but I don't pick it up as much as I should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm a YouTube guy, so I'm constantly on YouTube. And that's another addiction that I want to be accountable for, that I want to put myself out there and say, I watch YouTube all day, every day. That's what I'm doing. I go outside for a cigar and a coffee. I'm watching YouTube videos. There's a lot of good knowledge to be gleaned from YouTube, because there's a lot of interesting people on there, but it shuts off the part of your brain that gets information through text.
Right.
Which is important.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta retrain myself to read again.
Right.
I've never been that good at it. I found out my ADHD is caused by a gluten intolerance.
Really?
And that's why I thought I was retarded most of my life. Because I had this big old learning deficiency, and all my teachers gave up on me. They're like, "You're not going to learn anything." He's lost in his head. But cutting that stuff, cutting the carbs and the gluten, I think I'm ready to read.
Good deal.
You know?
Well, for
or
me,
at least audiobooks.
I'm making a commitment right now to set aside. We'll start with 30 minutes every day after the gym and after my shower, when I go outside for my post-gym cigar, or it's going to be vaping. I'm smoking 3 cigars a day, which is an expensive and dangerous
pricey
habit.
Yeah.
I buy the cheap stuff, but it adds up. So
yeah.
I got myself one of these little Aegis pods. They're not sponsoring us, but it'd be cool if they did.
They should.
Absolutely.
I should reach out to them.
Yeah. But
maybe not Thunderdome TV, but
maybe this show.
Yeah, maybe this one.
Maybe this one. But I'm going to read for 30 minutes a day. I'm going to finish the 2 books on Stoicism I have, and then when we got married, my cousin Darren gave us a book that's called What is the Bible?, which seems like a pretty asinine title, but it actually kind of goes in depth into what it was meant for and the meaning you can get out of it. And I think it's a good place to start, because again, I know the Bible pretty well from my atheist days, but I never really understood it. And it was Jordan Peterson, watching his biblical lectures. He's the reason I believe, because I watched these biblical lectures, and so this guy who explained God to me in a way that I could actually grasp it, that it was about archetypes and about psychology and about how all that stuff relates to human beings, and that it's transcendent. I didn't understand what transcendent meant, and I still wouldn't do a very good job of explaining it if I tried, but the transcendent is what's at the top of your stack. It's what you're aiming towards all the time, what you want to orient yourself towards. And so I'm going to make a commitment to read for 30 minutes a day. On top of all the other good stuff we're all doing, I think that's a laudable goal.
Build up your mind.
Right.
Build up your body.
Right.
Hell yeah. I mean, heck yes. No, I'll say hell. I don't care.
Turn yourself into a weapon of unimaginable power. And then, as the Bible does say, the meek shall inherit the earth. That doesn't mean the weak-minded, the beta males, the people who are cowardly and afraid. It means the people that have the ability to do a lot of damage, but don't do so unless they absolutely have to. The meek, the people who have built themselves up, their minds and their bodies, but who don't lash out, who don't use hatred as a dopamine release, who don't get their enjoyment from addiction and from hurting other people, but who are masters of their own selves and who could be a very dangerous opponent if you put them in that position. That's what I want to be. That's what I want for everybody that I'm friends with. People in my life should be, in my opinion, should be that way.
Yeah.
That's what I want for people.
Let's see. Warpig says, I keep getting hounded to read Death of the West. Definitely read it.
Yeah.
In segments, I've read a lot of it. It's a good one.
Especially that one chapter over and over and over again.
Let's see. Caesar says, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. The Way of Man by Jack Donovan. I'm going to check those out. I got a whole list of stuff I got to read. Trying to get back into reading on paper. I can pirate digital very easily. Yeah, it's a whole different experience. Yeah, reading on paper. Paper reading is the way to go. Who knows what they're censoring digitally? Yeah, that's a big problem. You feel like you retain more when you read a paper copy? Probably. Kevin says, I do Audible books. I've never been able to stay awake and read. I'll look into these books you guys are talking about. Yeah, I got to... I've been an audiobook guy, too.
Listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And for a guy like me who is very YouTube-driven, who's, you know, even when I was at work, I'm working on projects, I'm in a scissor lift, I'm pulling cable, I've got a headphone in, I'm listening to a Peterson lecture, I'm catching up with news or whatever. And so I do retain things that way. And I think it's definitely okay to do that if that's how you get your information the best. But I also want to kind of try to push myself back towards reading, because I don't think that part of your brain is dead. I just think it's inactive because we're not really using it.
Right. You got to stimulate it.
Right.
Like a muscle. If
we are going to see the collapse, whatever that might look like, I think that what's going to be left is paper. What's going to be left is text written down by
solid,
people.
Tangible information.
Right. Stuff you can hold in your hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also correct on reading retention. Yeah. Death of a Superpower is good too. Huh. I'm going to check that one out. Damn Dammy sends an ice cream. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. So Pierce is not here for this one. He likes to
he's just really enjoyed us talking so much, he's just kept his mouth shut. He's just been sitting there on his own going,
Yeah, he's a viewer on this one, not a...
Right. Yeah, it was disappointing, but he's got stuff to do, and we understand that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he'll be back next week.
I hope.
Me too. But
not saying this is a bad show.
No, not at all. It's been a lot of fun. He has because of his lifelong Christian theological upbringing, he's got a very solid biblical take on things, and I really appreciate that. It's stuff that I wish that I had from his perspective, or from your perspective, being Calvinist. I find that very fascinating, and he brought a lot to the conversation last time. I'm just, I'm happy to be here.
It scares really a lot of people.
Yeah.
The Calvinists.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that an ad? One sec, I gotta skip this ad in our music bed. There we go. But yeah, it's it's a scary thought when you think about it, but at the same time, it's like the most logical. If God really is all-knowing of past, present, and future, why wouldn't He know the decisions you're going to make in your life?
Right, and he put the tree there for a reason. The serpent was there for a reason. We would never have grown and become better if we had lived in a benevolent monarchy forever and ever. It's the struggle and the sacrifice and the hard work that gets your place in heaven, in my opinion.
Angus says he's digging the show as well. Thank you. I think it's yeah. I think it's good.
Me too.
Yeah.
Buddy's talking, man.
Right.
Buddy's talking, buddy's watching.
Just shooting the
proverbial S word.
There you go.
Right.
Shooting the proverbial that word, and man,
chewing the fat. We'll call it.
I'm also very overly stimulated on caffeine.
As am I
right now,
and I'm also I'm not as nervous as I was last time, but I'm still a little bit. That's gonna go away as time progresses.
Last time you seemed a little uncomfortable at times.
I was,
and you were very nervously clutching to that vape,
as I'm doing right now.
Oh, you're good. Okay. But I had to pry it out of your hands a couple times last week. But yeah, being live is it's a real weird experience. I failed at it when I first did it in like 2014, 2015. And I tried to be a Twitch gamer, streaming and stuff.
I didn't know that about you.
And after like a couple weeks,
did you show your beehole?
Did you? No, that was for the Cam Horse show, which I tried, about a year later from that. But no,
you got to just try until you succeed at something.
Right. And I found I'm not good solo, and it's fine that I'm not good solo.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then there was the whole stage fright thing, because I'm the sole reason that my from high school, my theater group was shut down because of me.
And you carry that burden with you today.
Yeah. Oh man, that was the cringiest, most awful thing. But the whole school came to watch and had to do something on stage.
Yeah, that's why I always stuck with behind the scenes lighting, audio, video,
right?
That kind of stuff, the more technical stuff, because I knew if I got on stage, I would more than likely ruin everything.
Well, what happened was I offended my theater director because he wrote a play. I said it was garbage, it was childish, and it was stupid. So he said, "Go ahead and make something," which he shouldn't have. He should have just told me, "I'm stupid. Do the play."
Right.
I'm the teacher, and he got fired, and
Listen, I'm all for teachers getting fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy was good though.
Okay. Well, God
I feel
bless
really
him.
bad about it, but at the same time, he was the adult
in the room,
and I was, just this retarded high schooler, 17, and don't let someone with no experience in writing a play and hardly any experience in acting, don't let him take control of the theater class
or anything.
Or anything.
And know who those people are.
Yeah.
And don't avoid them, but
I'm a pretty
maybe
good leader.
Don't take their opinion.
I'm a pretty good leader now, but like then I was just a retarded high schooler. Man. Let's see. Nicarlo's OnlyFans is Fire Fam. He's a tier 4 subscriber.
Fantastic. So what's this? Let's do some quick DLive knowledge because I don't know anything about this. What is it? What is when it says black?
That's our subscriber tag. People who are subscribed have they're part of the blacks.
Nice.
Yeah, you can change it to almost anything.
Okay.
Some people change them like every week, but it's just a funny thing we put on there. But when you subscribe, when you're subscribed for multiple months, recurring subscription, your text becomes pink.
Okay.
We can control that color too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. The pink stands out.
I'm just still lost on that. Nicarlo's OnlyFans is Fire Fam.
A lot of people get lost when gaping into my third eye, my brown eye.
I was telling our buddy here that Bella Thorne, who's a former Disney child star, who on an MTV show once said that she was molested between the ages of, I think, 4 and 16.
Not surprising for a child actor.
A lunatic, you know what I mean? And she's got an OnlyFans now, and she made $2 million in a week. I think $1 million in the first day, and then another $1 million over the course of the week. And that's capitalism, I guess. But I want it to stop. I don't want that to be allowed.
Same. Like I argue with that with Vil all the time. He talks about people like I thought you were talking about Bella Delphine at first.
I don't
Bella
really know
Thorne.
who she is.
It's kind of
disgusting. She's like the pink-haired girl with a...
Yeah, she sexualizes a very infantile image, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then it also promotes a really unhealthy nature in men. Like, you've got these men that are virtually hypnotized by it.
The unhealthy nature in men already exists, right?
It does, but why...
They play off each other.
Yep.
I don't know that you can blame her for the state of men.
I don't blame her. I blame her for sexualizing an infantile image.
Sure.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Do I think she's cute? Sure. Yeah, but dressing like you're 6 years old and then, flashing your tits on
Does she have a
camera.
little baby voice and stuff, too?
I don't know if I've ever heard her.
Yeah,
I've never watched. I've just seen pictures and I'm like, you're dressed like a 6-year-old.
Right.
You're doing basically porn.
So the thing is, men are already suffering. I mean, we've lost. You're not allowed to have men's clubs. That's taboo. The Boy Scouts can be Boy Scouts. There can be Scouts and there can be Girl Scouts. But the idea of men congregating together in brotherhood and fraternity is verboten. You're not supposed to do that because it's sexist or whatever it is. And
right.
And then there's the whole loss of meaning for young men because the people that are now doing the tree trimming jobs and the lawn mowing jobs and the pool jobs are immigrants. And it used to be teenagers. And so men have lost the ability to build an economic libido, as a guy we all know said. and then they're everything's too convenient. Nobody takes pride in hard work anymore, and the guys who do, you know who they are. I wasn't one of them. I recently found that, and it's been a very positive thing. But men are in a state of chaos and a downward spiral, and I think conversations like this are important, and I think finding and holding on to good people who have the same kind of view of things is super important, and just looking at yourself as an imperfect vessel and then orienting yourself towards something better. I think all those things, if we could somehow find a way to teach young men that, instead of teaching them, you know, that America's racist and that they're sexist and it's their fault that everything's happening. I mean, that's a huge load to carry, man. You're kneecapping people. You're kneecapping black Americans by telling them that society is racist and the cops want to kill them. You're kneecapping men by telling them that everything is their fault. Sprinkles. It's a tragedy, man. And so that's how people like Belle Delphine and Bella Thorne, that's how they can make so much money and be so popular, because it's so easy to latch onto that. You know, the women I surrounded myself with.
God forbid you shame a sex worker.
Absolutely.
Too, you know,
the women I surrounded myself with in the past they had no virtue. And then when I find my wife, you know, she has virtue. She has all this positivity. She has all, you know, business acumen. She's an entrepreneur. She's a Christian, so all that stuff. I'd never been with somebody like that before, and I married her.
A real woman.
Yeah, it took a year.
Real person of substance.
And I put a ring on it, as I think everybody should.
Another reason I'm going sober.
Right.
All the women I fooled around with in the last 2 years, shallow. Yeah. Nothing there, except for one. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
You don't want to regret your relationships. And for me, shame is something that, like getting super drunk before I was married, getting super drunk and texting somebody that you work with, or making a fool of yourself in front of people, and then waking up the next morning and being hit by that, you know, that snow plow of shame. That, you know what I mean? That is the most alive, real thing I can possibly imagine, because nothing else hits me like that. And it's such an awful, negative feeling that it makes you want to change your behavior so that doesn't happen again, because it's just awful.
Yeah, I've been there a ton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good at all.
Yeah.
No. Let's see. OnlyFans is short-term thinking. Quick money, but that money won't last. The internet is forever. That's right. They're kind of pigeonholing themselves into just...
That's right.
Thank you.
They're kind of pigeonholing themselves into just, you know, that. Like, you can't escape that. How many people were successfully have had successful careers when they get out of porn after they sell their humanity and their dignity?
No, I can't think of any.
Neither can I.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Ron Jeremy, but he's like a D-list actor.
Did you know he was in Ghostbusters?
No.
He's in the first Ghostbusters.
For how long?
Like 4 seconds. There's a crowd scene. I know this is a weird tangent, but there's a crowd scene. You see a bunch of people running up to something. I can't remember what scene it is, but if you look kind of to the left center, Ron Jeremy's in that movie.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you know Jack Black was in Demolition Man?
No.
Yeah. For like half a second.
Really?
Yeah. There's a scene where they go down into the sewers to meet the rebels.
Oh, he's one of the sewer guys.
Yeah. And Stallone does this motion where he slaps someone's gun. Like, you get that gun out of my face. It's Jack Black. He goes, ah! And then that's it. That's really all you see of him.
Fantastic. That launched his
acting career.
Right.
I think he did I Still Know What You Did Next Summer after that, where he was the awful long-haired
He was also
guy.
in Neverending Story 3.
Jack Black?
He was the head bully.
Oh.
There's a lot of useless knowledge that I think we both accumulated throughout our lives. You know what I mean?
Right. There was a void to fill, and it's like, let me think of every movie Jack Black's
Right.
been in the last, his whole career.
Exactly.
Ugh. Wagyu's speaking truth right now.
Why, thank you.
About Jack Black?
I don't know. Who knows? Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I'm putting a ring on mine in Vegas.
Congratulations, man. That's a big move.
Damn. Nice.
Much respect for that.
At MTM Fest? I'm an ordained minister. I could,
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, it's so easy. You just fill out this thing online and, I got a certificate.
You were at my wedding, but you didn't marry us.
No, I didn't.
But you did come to the after party.
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
A reception, I learned. That's
I
what.
think that was the start of our blossoming friendship.
Yeah.
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 Really appreciate that, man. That was a lot of fun.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Congrats on the engagement. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We did an hour.
We did.
You want to keep going?
We can. I mean, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, I don't know what else we're going to talk about, but
I
it
know.
usually picks
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to do.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes
You know what?
doesn't.
It was a solid show. Let's quit while we're ahead.
I agree.
Okay.
Why run on? Guys, thank you for watching. Again, I don't have any... I just realized it's still the Thunderdome.
Yeah,
background.
I was wondering if you were
I
going to
did
turn it because it's supposed to be color and then be like this enlightening thing behind
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. It's... I've been working on... to get a little degenerate now. I've been working on the Party Bear shirt.
Yeah,
I just sent the graphic over to Bobby.
You guys should get one for sure.
It's a good looking shirt. Yeah. Sent me the graphic. The original one kind of looked like a date rapist. And
It was very aggressive.
very sinister in the
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
So I kind of made the eyes a little more innocent and intoxicated.
Right.
And yeah, Bobby's got the shirts quoted and everything.
Nice,
We're good to
nice.
go. We'll be selling those, I believe, $25 a pop.
You gonna talk about the other one? Not yet.
Not yet, no.
All right.
That's a client
more to come, guys.
confidential agreement.
Sure.
But a big name is
Yes.
buying a graphic image
Right.
from me. So,
Well, it's not a graphic image, just an image.
what do you mean?
Well, it's not graphic. Like, there's no blood or guts or like.
Oh no, it's
It's an industry term.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
graphic. That's just term for image.
I know.
So I just said image.
Okay.
That's all. I was redundant.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And next week, Thursday, 9 a.m. Central. So that'd be 10 p.m.
It doesn't matter.
Pacific, 7 a.m.
No, it doesn't.
It's our morning show.
Right. You know what it is. You get a notification.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
you get that thing. you
Join
know.
us. We'll
Join
look
us.
forward to it.
Or not.
Yeah.
No, do join us.
Please do.
It's been fun. Thank you, Warpig. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good morning.
Love you guys.
Wagyu is not in these credits, and a lot of people that weren't in the show are, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It's an outro. What's important is, at the end of it, I have it triggered to just stop streaming. I could have just clicked
Before the
stop.
audio stayed on.
No, it did now. The audio's still on.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
They can hear what we're saying.
Good.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're not saying anything bad.
Not